Okay, so we'll go back just to the last thing we spoke about. If you have a hardest, which through this Hanocha is a bit clear. It's the original Hanocha, Berel wrote B'shaite, and some things are written out, but it's very, very clear. It sounds like what the Rebbe is trying to bring out. It's very, very clear. One small nekuda. We mentioned that the chalukah of the three Olamis, Biyash of Biyah Klolim, so it's not in the typical way it's divided. Here it's divided Ak, Atzilus, and Biyah. So actually, in that same Mamer in Eratera, in the Torah Parashiyos, the next page, he brings down exactly what is written over here. That Pirush Ramaz is connected to Pirush Hashalah, that it's Olamis Biyah, with the exact same chalukah that it's written over here. I mean, it's not typical, but it's here in this Mamer. Okay, now in the Mamer in Eratera, which it's interesting. The Rebbe is miyachasid to the Alter Rebbe. On the Chayr and the Signan there, it's mashma that it's the Tzemach Tzedek's Torah. Doesn't sound like the Tzemach Tzedek usually said the Modim of the Alter Rebbe with Hagoyis, with Mekayris, and here it sounds like it's mamish Tzemach Tzedek's Torah, but the Rebbe is calling it Alter Rebbe's Torah. So he says like this, that what's the difference between Atzilus, Teilum, Sein Sof is a very mufladik thing to understand. And we could understand that if we first understand the difference between Kalim and Oiris in general. And then he says, V'gam Yishloimar, that we could understand it if we know the chiluk between I v'chayeichad and I v'garmoichad. Now, the Parshas, when you read it, it's very hard to understand what is V'gam Yishloimar. As we explained last time, it sounds like exactly the same thing. The difference between I v'chayeichad and I v'garmoichad is that for the Ur itself reflects Eibishter. The Keli itself is not an expression of Eibishter. The difference between Kalim and Oiris l'chayra is the difference between I v'chayeichad and I v'garmoichad. That's why it's a different type of chat. So why is it Tzemach Tzedek or the Alter Rebbe writing it as another V'gam Yishloimer? So the Rebbe actually was medayik on that. And the Rebbe was saying like this, that in the Friedrich Rebbe's Mamer, there's two chalukis. We said this last time, but again, it's not as sharply and clearly divided as in this earlier Hanocha, and as also later Rabbi in the order wrote out this nekuda also, the Hadgosh of this thing, a bit clear. The Friedrich Rebbe is saying there's Olam Sein Sof and Atzilus and this Biyah. Now the Chayr, Olam Sein Sof and Atzilus are very different. Why are they in one category? So Rebbe says like this: there's a big difference between Olam Sein Sof and Atzilus. In Olam Sein Sof, the Kus is Meir without Kalim. In Atzilus, it's Meir in Kalim. But since Atzilus is Chad with the Eibishter, I v'chayeichad, I v'garmoichad. So if you don't look at who they are, if you look at the fact that they're Chad with the Eibishter, that the Bidl to the Eibishter is very clear in them, so Ligani, the fact whether a Likus could be made in them, whether Eid and Sof could be made in them, there's no chiluk whatsoever. There's no pella that the Eibishter should be made in Atzilus or in Olam Sein Sof equally. There's a big difference between them. But since Olam Sein Sof and Atzilus, both of them, are chad with the Eibishter, Atzilus is Hagabola, is not a steer, is not stopping the fact that he's chad both to the Eibishter. Therefore, the fact that a lichus could be made there is equally not a pella like Lamayla Me'atzilus. And the Rebbe says that's why in the Torah it says V'gam Yishloimer. First, he explains what's the chiluk between Atzilus and the Lamayla Me'atzilus, like the chiluk between Kalim and Oiris. Oiris are ha'ara of Eibishter. Kalim are ha'gedara. They're not mamish reflecting Eibishter. And Atzilus is a oira melubash b'kli. And therefore, the whole gili is in a way of Kalim, in a way of ha'gedara. So it's very different, Atzilus and Lamayla Me'atzilus. But then it says, the V'gam Yishloimer, no. The difference is between Iva Chayeichad, Iva Garmoichad. Don't look at the Kelik Shel Ha'atzmi and at the Ur Shel Ha'atzmi. Look at the fact that they're Chad. Say Atzilus and say L'mayla Atzilus is chad with the Eibishter. Say Eirus and say Kelim are chad with the Eibishter. The chilik is nor in which oifen does the chad happen, but the maskana is the same. They're chad. We're talking mechalakit ive chayei chad ive garmoi chad. That here the isachtos is part of his mitzias mitzadatzmei, and here the isachtos is not so much part of his mitzias. But lepel the chad is the same. Lepel they are chad with the Eibishter. And the chiluk in them is a much more dakas than the chiluk. And legabi the chad, there's no chiluk. Legabi the fact that the chad with Eibishter is no chiluk. And the fact that Erdin Sof could be made in Atzilus and the Mailam Atzilus is equally not a pel. So again, in the Eretz it says that there's two biyurim between the chiluk of Atzilus and the Mailam Atzilus. One biyur is the chiluk between Kelim and Eris. Another biyur, v'gam mishleim, it's a chiluk between Iva Chayei Chad Iva Gamoy Chad. L'chayr is exactly the same thing. Yeah, the chiluk between Iva Chayei Chad is the chiluk between Eris and Kelim. So the Rebbe says the chiluk is like this. The first beard is saying, look at their tzir b'fnei atzmei. Olam is saying, Sof is a oir of the Eibishter without a kli. Without a kli, it's a pure oir of the Eibishter. Olam Atzilus is the way it's made in a kli. A kli is a agdor. Is a bit of a helam on Eibishter. So derech chiluk in kelim and oiris, so derech says the chiluk in Atzilus malam Atzilus. He says, no. V'gam mishlim, look at the isachtus of the kelim with the Eibishter and the oiris with the Eibishter. You have to say them separately because here is misachid and it's a chelik of his union. Here it's misachid and he's battle to likus. But then it's achid. Aderech Atzilus and the Mailam Atzilus are both chad with Eibishter. Since they're both chad with Eibishter, so there's a difference. He's chad, part of his union. He's chad a bit, being mevatel his union, but it's chad. B'muhusi seher tzichonim the bitlam chad with Eibishter, and therefore. Le'inyanenu, the Friedrich Rebbe is only mechalik into two chalukis. Olam is saying Sof and Atzilus is one chaluk. And Biyaz another chalukah. Because legabi, the union over here, whether it's a chiddush that a lekush should be meir or should be niskabel, it's shavi b'shav. Because since they're both chad with the Eibishter, so there's no difference if he's chad be'etzem or he's chad, and he has to be mevatel himself, but he's chad. If he's chad with the Eibishter, it's a herzachon in them. The bittul gomer to the Eibishter, so that Eirun Sof should be made in such a metzias is not good. Yeah? Clear? Okay. Fine. Then he goes on to the next nekudah, that where is there a chiddush? The chiddush is when he's married in Biyah. So here, the Rebbe is like to the Yukim and the Friedrich Rebbe's Mamer. One nekudah is that he's mechalik here when he brings that when he's mechalik. One second. Okay. So here the Rebbe is saying that the Friedrich Rebbe is mechalik into gimel chalukis. Yeah. In other words, the Friedrich Rebbe did bring down gimel chalukis. Olam is saying Sof, Atzilus and Biyah. Legabe, the question whether it's a chiddush that a lekush should be made there, then Atzilus and the Mailam Atzilus is b'shav. But the Perl is three chalukis, and Biyah is together in one chalukah. Mainly we see that Biyah is one mitzias of here. Then the Friedrich Rebbe brings down the Zoyar that there's different spheres of Atzilus that are made in different elements. That Bin is made in Imei Elam Mekana B'Kursaya, and Shitz and B'Yitzira, and Oifen Malchus, the wheel, the Ma'aseh B'Peil is B'Atzilus, Basi. Why is he bringing these two nekudas? To tell you that Ein Sof is made in Bria Yitzira Asi. We know there's ishtalshlus oilemus. And the etzem is havus, the etzem tzir, the etzem mitzias of bria tzira asiya. So yitzira is kilo not a direct product of atzilus. Yitzira, the mitzias of yitzira could only be as a result of malchus the bria nasa kesen yitzira. That's how the mitzias of yitzira could be. And maybe you could think that any gili alikus that comes to yitzira, that comes to asiya, is not a direct gili of Atzilus. It's not a direct gili of a likus, of Ein Sof, via shine to Ein Sof. Rather, the way he's already melubish in the tzir of Bria. Only through that is Mesiachis to Yitzira. And only through Yitzira is Mesiachis to Asiyah. Mainly, you don't have Ein Sof, you don't have a pure Gili of the Eibishter. The way it's Ein Sof, the way it can be made Ein Sof. You don't have that being made in Yitzira and Asiyah. Which would be enough, really. If you want to bring out the Chiddush, the Maila, that Ein Sof Lamata Din Tachlis, the Ein Sof kind of the Eibishter that you see in the fact that he can come so low, and he can still stay Ein Sof, the Pshittas of Eibishter that you see in that. In Bria, it's already enough. Bria is already a Mitzvah, it's already a Nivra. The fact that Ein Sof could be made in Bria is already showing you that Heder HaGabbalah Shalei that he can come and the Mata Din Tachlis. But the Mamer is telling you no. Ein Sof itself is made in Yitzira and in Asiyah. Which means, although, again, it's a Mitzvah of Yitzira and Asiyah is Bishtalshalus from the Olam Shalom Eilam here. But then, Ein Sof is made in them. There's a direct Gili from Atzilus, which is a Gili Ein Sof, it's Chad with the Eibishter. There's a Gili of Atzilus shining, Mashemasim Lebria into Bria, Mashemasim Yitzira into Yitzira, Shemasim Asiyah into Asiyah. Hey, there's an Ein Sof that's made into Yitzira into Asiyah. The Malachim of Yitzira, the Neshamas of Yitzira could be Teufus, a Gili of Eibishter, which is a pure Gili of Eibishter, a low one than in a Bria, but a pure Gili of Ein Sof. And there is Asiyah. And there's a Lamata, as we'll see later on. But the word here is, it's Mandgish that, it's Ein Sof Mash. Okay. Then the Friedrich Rebbe brings the fact that that the Neshamis, most Neshamis come from Bia. So the Rebbe says, why is the Friedrich Rebbe being Mandgish that most Neshamis come from Bia? All we want to say is that Ein Sof is made into Nivroim. And what we're going to get for our Avodah is something much greater than that. So what do I care that my neshama... Okay, what does it mean my neshama comes from Biyah? It doesn't mean my neshama comes from Biyah, it comes through Biyah. In other words, the neshama be'etzim nemuhusa shematzilus. And as we mentioned just earlier, that we're saying that in the three dargis, Elumis, neshamis, and Elikus, so neshamis are parallel to Atzilus. But the way the neshama came down the Poyel is in the teva of Biyah. It's a teva that what I feel is the nature of Bria, Yitzira or Asiyah. The nature of a Nivra, that has his own Hasoga, his own Hergish. And only in that, he's Masik the Eibishter. That's the Levush, it's the Levush for Sfiras of Atzilus. I mean, I Porch Nishmas and Livnei Noshel, the Poyel, our Neshama, the way we live it, the way we feel it, the Goloi, is from Bia. So why are we Madgish that? So the Rebbe says, because the whole Kavon of the Mamer is that we have to be poil in the world. All Hamshachas in the world have to come through Neshamas Yisrael. And therefore, Lamata, the Intachlis also has to come into Neshamas Yisrael. Says Azoi. The the word is, it's not Pshat that we're telling you that you have an Avodah to bring the Eibush into the world. You want to tell you that Eibush gives you a special Gili Elikus for that. And if you want to compare it to anything that's Nizgala in the world, it's so much greater. We want to tell you is that you belong to every Gili that's in the world. And as we'll see later, even to the Kliva part. You can also find it in you. And therefore, when you have a Shaykhis to the Oitzer and you're bringing in, when you have a Shaykhis to the Oitzer, to the Maila Din Ketz, and you're doing the Melchama, it's not pshat that you're detached from the world and you have something so much greater and you're loichem with the world. You belong to the world itself also. You have the teva of Biyan, a person could be yoded to the teva of Klippa also. And that Yid, when he gets the Oitzer Shalom Maila and he does the Melchama, he's mamshich that into Ulamas, into the Tachtoin. In other words, since he is betivoi, connected also to the Gidri HaTachtoinim, therefore when he has the greatest connection to the Eibush Shalom Maila from anything which is his Galan Tachtoinim, and through that he does his Avodah, that doesn't remain detached from the Tachtoinim. It comes into the Tachtoinim. So therefore we're madgish at every step of the process of that Shaykh Ba'ayid. And then we're going to say that a Yid has Shaloi Berel greater, but he's bringing that into what he's Shaykh. Some earlier in the Teres of Baal Shem Tov, The fact that in davening you have Oilimus and Neshamas and Elikus. So we said it yesterday, the Rebbe says it in the Mamer. He's just focusing on that there are Oilimus and Neshamas and Elikus, that you mechaber them together. In the Maker it says that in the Tevis at Tefillah there's the three dargis, Oilimus and Neshamas and Elikus. In other words, it sounds like that the Yid when he's davening is a shaykhis to all three levels. A Yid is a shaykhis to Oilimus. A Yid is a Neshama. A Yid is a shaykhis to Elikus, higher than a Neshama also. And the words of davening contain a shaykhis to all those three perspectives. It has the Pashta Pshat, the way it has to do with the Pashta, the Gashmistic understanding of davening. It has the ways Neshama could relate to it, and it has the way he has mitzvah this bittul to the Eibush to the Likus also. And therefore he could be mechaber the Eilumis to Likus, not just because he's a Neshama which is in between, like we said last time, but because he has a shaykhis to the Eilumis and to the Neshama and to the Likus. Therefore he can mechaber them through the three of them together. There's a l'chira here. A neshama has a shaykhis too, the biyah, the agbola and biyah, and therefore when he's maila the oilamis with the eitz shalom maila, he's part of the oilamis, but he has the eitz shalom maila and it can be maila. L'chayr. This nekuda that doesn't say clearly. Nekuda says clearly just the fact that we want to find how everything is shaykh to the yid because everything has to do with the avodah of the yid. So when we speak about biyah, we find out it's in the yid also. But the ma'anaf kimina because there's avodah l'chayr to bring it into it. L'chayr. Okay. So the lashon of the Fidik Rebbe's Mamer is that Reiv HaNeshamis are Neshamis the Biyah, and only Chad B'dore B'deiris HaRishonim HaNeshamis the Atzilus. So the Rebbe learns that the Poel in other Memorim in the Kodeteira with the Rebbe's Mitzayin over here, it doesn't sound like B'deiris HaRishonim was Mamish Chad B'dore. It was Mu'atim. It doesn't sound like it was Mamish Chad B'dore. So it's something the Rebbe learns that Chad B'dore could be translated in different ways. Chad B'dore could be a Shem HaMushal, that it's very few. Or Chad B'dore could be literally Chad B'dore. So the Rebbe learns like this, that B'dore is shown in the word Chad B'dore in a more loose term. The word few people. And B'dore is Achrenim, it's a Mamish Chad B'dore. The Mamish only one. Okay, how does that fit in the lashon of the Fidik Rebbe? Chad B'dore B'deiris HaRishonim. I'm not sure how the Rebbe learns it. It sounds like Chad B'dore HaRishonim. It sounds like okay, B'deiris was also like very few, and the Rebbe is saying that Al Pi Zeh B'deirenu it's Koshim V'Kal V'Chomer and Milas Mamish just Chad B'dore. The Rebbe teaches us that Chad B'dore. I don't know. It's Rebbe's learning the lashon of the Mamer. It sounds like Kilo the Rebbe is making a chiluk. Chad B'dore, and as if it would say Oy B'deiris HaRishonim. I'm not sure exactly how to learn that way. Like it's like Chad B'dore now, and B'deiris HaRishonim was maybe a bit more. The Rebbe teaches that Chad B'dore means the Chad was of them steht the ganze door. Not stam one person in the door. But the Chad of the door, the Chad of the Moshe Shebeder, that auf ihm steht die ganze Door. Okay. So the Rebbe is Meirich a bit, in this, not Meirich, it's according to the Kodeteira. The different types of Neshamas. He says like this, that Neshamas that Atzilus come from Yichud Avo, from Yichud Chacham Bina, and therefore the Achim V'Reim L'Zo. Their partner on the same level to Midas of Atzilus. Mashenkin Reiv HaNeshamis come from Yichud Zun, from the Chibur of Midas and Malchus, and therefore where they come out is an Olam HaBriya, and therefore they're lower. Torah is in Chabad of Zoh, Chabad of Midas. Therefore, the neshamas of Atzilus are like equal to Torah. Achim v'reim lamokim, they're equal to the level of Torah. Hashenkin, the neshamas that come from Yichud Zun, they are mekabel from Torah. They're miskasha to the Eibishter through Torah. Then the Torah says that there are some neshamas like in between. They come from Yichud Zun, but they stay in Atzilus. but they're still lower than the Torah. And it sounds like, from the Hamshich that loosely they belong to the category of Neshamas Debris. Though technically they're not Silus, but they loosely belong to the category of Neshamas Debris. Neshamas that Silus Mamish are those that come from Yichud Hava. Okay, so what's the Nekudas Advarim? What's the Nekudas Advarim? We can't say Nekudas Advarim. The word of a yichud is that you want to make a teitzorah which has two opposite things to it. You want a deep teichen to come down to a metzias mukbelas. How could you have a deep teichen coming into a metzias mukbelas? So it's kiviyachol two koiches of the Yebishter. A koich that's made the deep teichen kamei and the teichen that's masim to the mekabel. The koich that's masim to the mekabel. Which each one on their own are kilu madgish der nekud. The chachma is madgish that a lekus should be meir kamei shu. And bina is madgish that it should be musber. It should be mugder in a way that a mekabel could take it. In order for there to be a mekabel, kilu a nivra, a neshama, someone who mitzad echad is a mekabel, mitzad sheni, by him is shining, the em is kamei shehi in chachma. For that there has to be yichud hava. The hamshach is based on the combination of these two nekudas together. Chachma is meir, but it's meir through bina. Al derech zeh, yichud zun. Zo, midis is ha'orah of Eibishter, a lower ha'orah, which kiviyachol is biyachas l'chatchila to the mekabel. What the mekabel could taste and appreciate from Elikus. Ha'orah of midis is that there could be something that's kiviyachol likable about the Eibishter, or that's very yir about the Eibishter. It's the chatchila ha'orah, which is not just giving you the inyan kishal ha'atzmei, but ha'orah, it's still a gili at the kus. But it's not giving you, just telling you the inyan kishal ha'atzmei from the Eibishter's perspective. It's chatchila giving you a gilui biyachas lazulas, but it's a gili of a likus. And then you have malchus, which in Yoni is just to do the maisa, to give ashpa lazulas, a mudadik ashpa, which mitzadat is kilu dead, empty from any the hair of a likus. And again, there's the yichud, which makes it could be a nivra that could fart within the gidri nivra have a feeling for a likus. Now, Chachma obviously is meir likus b'pshitusi b'torasi. So if you have a niver that is muhus, is based on Chachma, he's a bittul dik muhus. Bina is also a hagbola and a keli which is much more bottled to the mok. It's a keli of seichel. Gidri has seichel, asbara of seichel is still trying to bring out the inyan kamei shu elamai in a more understood oifen, but not very in a very minimal level being mischashiv with anyone outside. They're just putting it in a structured way that someone could understand, but it's only trying to bring out the idea the way it is. So the keli itself is also more bittul dik keli. The middle of the teitzah of that of the yichud hava is neshamas datzilus. Neshamas that attack have a seichel and midis, have a pesachakar, havona. But kol muhusim is bittul gomer to likus, a real their hair of a likus. Bittul means that real their hair of the hemes of a likus, which is said that they're bottom. And neshama debriya is the hergesh alikisha boy is the way likus is meir biyachas lazumas. The early chatchila is a more early which gives room for someone else. The hagbola which makes their mitzvahs is much more hagbola which makes a nifra. He's here to be mashpia lazulas and to make a zulas bigdarov. He's not here just to bring out his inyan. He's here to be mashpia lazulas and make a zulas. So mela the teitzah that is a neshama which is a mitzvah with niatzma. But it could be in a neshama debriya that the chavesish was that has a pure, very good hasogya, made a very good bittul to the Eibishter. But he's a metzias with niyatzma. Torah is the chachma of the Eibishter coming and kilu talking to us. It's the Chochmah the Eibush is Messiachis to eventually from it should come Tzivuyim, eventually from it should come Hasaga that we can have in the Eibush. Based on the Eibush, not a Metzias b'fnei atzma, but a Gili Elikus that could be Nimshach to us. I mean, there's different targets in Torah, but perhaps that's more the Torah which is Messiachis, where the Torah was actually Nimshach to us in our Havana V'Hasaga. So the marker for that is considered Chabad Dizah. It's not the Midas themselves, it's not the Yachas to us. It's the Inyan Aliki Amiti behind what could be Messiachis to us. In Torah we're bottled to the Eibishter, we heard that's the Eibishter's Chochmah, but it's something which we as outsiders could relate to. So it's the Chochmah behind the Midas. The Chochmah, the Chabad is so. And Meila Neshama, the Atzilis, which is whole Mahus, is Bittul Gomer to the Eibishter, not as an outsider. So he's Achim V'reim to Midas the Atzilis. And his Iskashus Reibish is not through Torah. Fakert, his Iskashus is parallel to Torah. Mele who's mamshich the Torah to Yid and Moshe. Moshe is that neshama datzilus, so he could bring to us that we're neshamas to biyah. He could give us a connection to the Eibush through Torah. We need Torah because it's like the pneumius of anything we could feel of the Eibush. The pneumius of that is the way that's based on the Eibush himself, the way that's Chabad is all. So our iskashus is through Torah. Sheikin and Neshama Datzilus could be mamshich to us that he has the bittul to the Eibush, the deeper. That's what's deeper than what the Torah is trying to accomplish. The Eimek of Torah, that's what he's living, and therefore his iskashus is killing not just based on Torah, not that's against Torah. That's the pneumius of the Torah, but it's not limited to have to come through that only through Torah is mekushim. Is mekushim is adatzmi, and then we can be mamshich to us the Torah. Yeah. Now it sounds like based on that, a neshama dezun da atzilus, neshama that comes through yichud zun da atzilus. I guess since although he still there has the bittul to the Eibishter in atzilus dikah way, but b'chalolus he's already metzias b'fnei atzma. The fact that the whole Gili Likus that he has is from Midas of the Eibishter. And it comes through Malchus, it comes through Ashpo, that's Magbil and allows someone else. But he's someone else that's still so connected and so in tune and feels so much, the Gili the waits and Atzilus of the Pearl is bottle betachlis. So it sounds like that Lucy still belongs to the Shamas Debriya. He's still a Metzias, which Ebbesvos is a Tvisas mocking for his Metzias, Elamai, he's bottle. I'm saying the neshama datzilus is that is the head of alikus is from chochma datzilus, and in Mele he's the achim v'reim lamokim. That's considered mamish and neshama datzilus. And therefore, since that's mamish, even mederis erishenim it's a miut, and mederis achreinim it's mamish chad bedor. Therefore, in general, we belong to Bria. As we said before, we're shy to Bia. We're shy to this yirid of the Eibush and to Bia. It could be talking the fact that he's saying the chad bedoris, the mimadgish. Although we alone are shaykh to the tachten, but we're shaykh also to be mamshich the alien because the chad is machzik the dor. The chad is in the neshama clothes which is koil the dor, and therefore we're not limited to the gedorim of biyah, but b'tiveinu, b'tziyureinu alone we're shaykh to biyah. Okay. Yeah? Fine. The next nekuda has to do with what we said before. The Rebbe is being madgish over here. The Rebbe is speaking from the Friedrich Rebbe that although the neshamas are in biyah, but they are the pnimius, the malachim are chitzenis, and leilumas are chitzenis, the chitzenis. besides the fact that we're not just biyah, we're shaykh to the chad bedor, and karenu in the shomadat silas, so we have the itza shalom ma'ilo. Even our shaykhis to biyah is as the pnimis of biyah. We're not based on and limited to the gedorim of biyah. Rather, we are like the kavana behind biyah. Biyah is a mugbal dikimitzis. Why did the Eibishter make such a mugbal dikimitzis? Because eventually in that mitzvah can shine an Eibishter. Who has that nature within that mugbal dikimitzis that in him could shine an Eibishter? A neshama. So neshama is the machshava behind biyah. Biyah itself is a mugbal dikimitzis that Mitalas wouldn't be here. If it wouldn't be able to bring the Eibishter into it, it wouldn't be here. And it alone cannot have the Eibishter in it. A Yid that's melubish in biyah could bring the Eibishter into the world. So the machshava, and that's the pnimius behind the world, is the neshamas. So you have neshamas, malachim, and olamis. Olamis are mukbal dik mitzias, and they're mitzias b'fnei yatzma. They have no deher of alikus. That's chitzenis, the chitzenis. Malachim are edel and ivroim. They're edel and ivroim. They have a mitzias b'fnei yatzma, but are edel and mitzias b'fnei yatzma. And therefore, they heard Eibishter quite well. And we use the most of it in Birchas Krishma. We talk about the Malachim because our Nefesh Abamis is a grobe Nefesh Abamis, and you have to tell him that Betzim Keira is a Eidel Nefesh Abamis. He's able to be a Metzias with Niyatu that's all excited about the Eibishter. That's the oimik of his teva. But a Malach is that he's a Metzias with Niyatzmo that's a Eidel and a bottle to the Eibishter. But since he has his own Metzias and he's based on that, so he can't be bottled to the Eibishter betachlis, and he can't hear the Eibishter betachlis. And therefore, he himself is not the panemius of the Eilums. A neshama which is not based on biyah. A neshama that's based on atzilus, that's based on bittul gomer to the Eibishter. And mainly shach to the heir the emes of Eibishter. And technically he was yearned and slavish into biyah. So he's one that could bring the heir of Eibishter into this mukbal dekimetzias. And only for that it's here. So he's the pneumis of the Eilum, not just the pneumis, the highest type of nivra. He is the purpose of this Eilum. Why is there such an Eilum of biyah? Because there's a neshama that has the pneumius is totally bottled to the Eibishter. Elamai technically was mislabish in the gedorim of biyah, and therefore he could bring the Eibishter himself into biyah. That's for this biyah. What could help it happen is that in between is a malach. So maybe there's a mitzias b'fnei yatzmei, but the hair is Eibishter v'meila. Even when it becomes a mitzias b'fnei yatzmei, then elikus could shine there also through the fact that this is middle stage of the malach, and then meila no. So the avel toichet, because you have to have where to bring it in. So the avel toichet. So the fact that the neshamas are the panimis is not just telling you that don't worry, you're not so bad. It's also telling you that nekuda that I'm being mishayich you to biyah, because you are supposed to uftan the kavon to bring it down into biyah. That's also the type of shaychus you have to biyah allows you to do uftan the kavon. Since you are the panimis of the elements, you could do uftan the kavon. That nekuda that we're the panimis, we see in the fact that the malachim could only say shira after we say shira. The malachim are staying sach besser von uns. But the malachim are mugbolim, the malachim are nivroim, the malachim are stuck to their tev. So the bittul cannot be betachlis. We're l'chayra gor yesh, but b'pnim yisaynu we have a bittul amiti to the Eibishter. And when we express a shaychus of the Eibishter in a shira, it's expressing a much more real bittul and a real deher to the Eibishter. And only through that is a reason why the Eibishter allowed that the malachim should say shira, because they could connect to that emes and bring it down into the teva, which will help to bring it down into the world. But they themselves wouldn't be a tachlis. They're saying shira is all based on the limited mitzias. That's their asaga. That's their spoilers. That wouldn't be a word. So the only reason they're able to do it is because of so that's the chayda. The Rebbe is saying the whole asbara that what does it say? The pneumius. Okay, why are we saying this? To tell us that that we could do the kavanah of bringing the kusim to the world. So, what pshat pnimi is that Yidden are like the machshava, that the deeper is based on the machshava. So it's not just we're pnimius, we're a deeper type of nivra. We are the kavanah behind the nivroim. We have the kavanah behind the dibur. And therefore, since the dibur is based on us, so for sure we could be poil on the world to be bringing the likus into it. So we're shaykh to biyah on one hand, but on the other hand, we're the pnimius, we're a higher level, and we're the kavanah of biyah, and therefore we could be poil on biyah. On the other hand, the fact that we are yoded to biyah has definitely an effect on us. And since we're mechalik, based on the Ramaz, we're mechalik, that Olam Ein Sof are Bria Dechlalos. Atzilus is Yitzira Dechlalos. And Biyah is Asiyah Dechlalos. And we always say Af Asisi, which means to say, usually we say it on Asiyah Mamish. There's a hefsik between Biyah, between Bria Yitzira and Asiyah, because Bria Yitzira, there's a gili over there. And Asiyah, there's no gili whatsoever that allows to be, that it should be a yesh b'fnei atzmai. So it's a jump, there's a hefsik in between them. So derech zed is that hefsik between Atzilus and Biyah Bechlolos. Biyah Bechlolos are nifrodim. They're Metzias. So there's a dilu gadol, a hefsik between any gili before and the gili after, and we're part of that. But poil b'tziyureinu, we're part of that. Where we live, where we think, where we understand, we're part of that jump, and therefore the Yerida is very low. And the fact that we could have a shaykhus tel likus is a big chiddush. B'tziyureinu. And as part of the Ein Sof Lamata Adin Tachlis, the fact that the likus could enter our understanding the way we are with Poyel Hil Lamata is mitzad the fact that he's Ein Sof, he's not mugbal. He could reach even us, even our understanding, even our feeling, he can reach. While we're still Melubash and Biyah, that's mitzad the Ein Sof Lamata Adin.